Good evening. I am the Maven of the Eventide, and welcome to Vampire Reviews. Tonight, we will drink deeply of the vampire wine. And by that, I mean vampire wine.
Red wine.
If you go to a website called vampire.com, what would you expect to see there? Yeah, I bet you weren't expecting that. Vampire Vineyards was one of the first and remains the premier brand of vampire-themed beverages. In all the various ways vampires have been used as a marketing gimmick, wine is one product that makes a whole lot of sense. After all, the image of a vampire with a goblet of red liquid is iconic. Of course, Vampire Vineyards has expanded over the years to include a slew of other products that don't make very much sense at all, but if you look at the basics, red wine kinda looks like blood, so really, it's not all that ridiculous. I mean, even the wine glasses I found at my local store were called Twilight. You think that's a coincidence? Seriously though, that's not why I bought them. So, for my birthday, Lindsay gave me a bottle of Vampire Cabernet Sauvignon. And tonight, I am going to share it with you. This is a red wine, which makes sense, considering, you know, vampires, blood, and everything, but Vampire actually makes all varieties of wine. Go figure. But this won't be my first time trying the crimson liquid from this brand. A few years back, I had the chance to try their Dracula Syrah and their Chateau de Vampire Cabernet Sauvignon blend. I didn't like the Dracula at all, but the Chateau was surprisingly amazing. So I am very curious how I'm going to like this one. I say surprisingly because, let's face it, when a wine is branded with a gimmick, there's immediate prejudice and an automatic assumption that it's not going to be very good. It's also not very expensive. This bottle sells on vampire.com for $11.95, another indication that we shouldn't expect much. But taste is subjective, so we'll see. Besides, it's not entirely fair to judge the gimmicky nature of this brand by modern standards. It's been around for decades, and it's actually not riding on the coattails of the recent pop culture vampire trend. Now, vampire wine is not to be confused with blood wine. And no, I don't mean Klingon blood wine, Nella. But blood wine is an actual thing, such as this bottle of Cape Fear blood wine. I found it when I went on vacation to Cape Fear last week. It wasn't as spooky as it sounds. Blood wine is so called because the grapes used in it actually have a red juice, unlike most wines which get their red color from the grape skins. But this vampire wine is so called because its creator, Michael Mashot, thought of it first. Seriously, that's the reason. He's an entertainment lawyer from New York, but started his company Vampire Vineyards about 20 years ago in Transylvania's wine region and thought it would be cool to brand it as vampire wine because even 20 years ago, vampires were hot. And being in the entertainment business, he was able to use the marketing gimmick, even back then, to get endless publicity for his brand. You still see it show up just about everywhere around Halloween. He actually sold his first 500 bottles to Alice Cooper. Now, Transylvania is the 10th largest wine-producing region in the world, and no one ever thought to brand vampire wine before this guy? Despite its quantity, Transylvania doesn't have the best reputation for quality. So, a few years back, Mashot moved Vampire Vineyards to sunny, happy, totally un-vampire-y Paso Robles, California. But as we know, super vampire-y things can come out of California. We just all eventually end up in New York. Like this bottle there. So besides the fact that this company started in Transylvania, what is it about this wine that makes it worthy of the name vampire? I'm presuming that, like non-Klingon blood wine, it does not taste anything like blood. Does it make you more mysterious and seductive by drinking it? Does it give you the power of flight? Does it make you stay up all night and sleep all day? Well, we're just going to have to taste it and find out. With a red wine, you want to have the bottle open a little while before you pour it. This lets the wine breathe and enhances the flavor. I opened this one about 10 minutes ago. Likewise, you'll want to use a large-mouthed glass so that plenty of oxygen can get to the surface. Red wine glasses also usually have shorter stems so that the heat from your hand will keep it warm. You always want to serve red wine at room temperature. Now, there's no description of this wine on the bottle, just a poem by Lord Byron. And the website doesn't offer much insight either, so all I have to go off is my general knowledge of cab sauves. That they're medium to full-bodied and have a high tannin content, which gives them structure and intrigue while supporting their rich fruit characteristics. You'll find a lot of flavors like plum, cherry, blackberry, blueberry, warm spice, vanilla, tobacco, and sometimes leather. I'm swirling this wine to release the flavors, but you can tell a lot about a wine by looking at it too. For instance, looking at the legs of this wine, I can tell that it looks a little bit thin. A lot of people will say that the thicker the legs in a wine, the more quality it has, but that remains to be seen. It's a dark red color, which fits with the vampire theme nicely, but doesn't necessarily mean anything about taste. So the next step to tasting a wine is to smell it. First, I'll take a quick sniff to get a first impression, and then I will stick my nose all the way into the glass and inhale deeply. Fruity, definitely fruity, and a little bit of warmth, something like vanilla, maybe even chocolate. All right, let's go deeper. Now, I'm going to take a small sip and let it roll around in my mouth a little bit to let it touch all areas of my palate. Properly smelling your wine before you taste it is important because of how closely your sense of smell is connected to your sense of taste. Inhaling the fragrance will make it taste better. So it's not too acidic, which I like, but it does have definite spice to it. I can feel it sort of tingling the back of my throat. Very potent on the tip of the tongue. I definitely taste some very bright fruity flavors. Raspberries and maybe a little bit of plum. That sweetness, not sweetness, more like a warmness from the vanilla that I was smelling, I think. Even a little bit of chocolate. Vanilla, chocolate, fruit. It's kind of like a candy in a glass, but not sweet. Just has that, like, you know those kind of candies you get that have the cherries inside? The dark chocolate? It tastes a little bit like it would go really well with one of those. Also like it would go really well with strong cheese. It's got a light body, which I like. It's not too heavy on the tongue. And that would go with the thin legs that we saw. Not that there's anything wrong with having thin legs. I like it. I actually like it, you know, and thinking of something as a vampire wine, you thought that they'd, you know, stick any crap in a bottle and just sell it because of the marketing, but I could drink this. This is better than the wine I had for dinner last night. Well, it's not making me cough and gasp like that vampire perfume did. Does it make me feel more like a vampire? Well, not yet. Maybe if I drink a little bit more, you know, I might start feeling a little bit seductive and mysterious and might feel like putting on a low-cut dress and going out and biting someone's neck, but not yet. Now, this wine is not expensive, but I would say you could probably get wine just as good or better than this for less. The perk of this is, of course, that it's good for parties or theme gifts. This is considered a table wine, but I don't think I'd recommend purchasing it just to drink in your crypt alone. If you're going to spring for Vampire Cab Sauv, the Chateau blend was much better in my memory. But I am all for vampire wine. By drinking it, you can pretend you're drinking blood, and you are just that much closer to being one with the vampires, to becoming like them. Though, if you keep drinking it, you don't actually become like them. Not that I've ever tried, or forced all of my roommates to try. So if we drink enough of this, then we will become vampires, and then we will be able to drink real blood.
Okay. And how do we know it's working?
Well, we have to use what we know about vampires to test it, what they can do.
Why do I help you with these things?
Oh. Lindsay, you want to drink vampire wine. You want to become a creature of the night.
No, I don't.
But free booze.
Fine. Did someone say free booze?
Yes. But we're drinking it to become vampires?
I didn't hear anything after yes.
The days of wine and roses, laugh and run away, like a child at play, through the meadowland, toward a closing door, a door marked Nevermore.
It's working! Do you feel fear?
No. I just sort of feel guilty.
Yes, use your seductive powers, because you have the power of seduction now. You have to look into his eyes and hypnotize him. You have the power of aura now.
Ooh, garlic. I'm gonna make garlic bread.
Wait a minute. I could do it. I'm gonna turn into mist right now. Are you ready?
Use it. You earn the points from drinking the wine. You gotta look deep into his eyes and whisper sweet nothings to him. I'm turning into bats. Turning into bats. Now, look into my eyes.
You ready for this? Here we go.
And drink the elixir. Deeper. You gotta look all the way into his eyes. I think they're good. Closer. No. Seduce him. You are a vampire now. You are of the undead. You're a creature of the night. Close.
So yeah, I really just don't get the whole like comic book thing. I mean, like, grow up.
Whoa!
What? Calm your tits, Buffy. She could turn into dust.
Wait, I can see my reflection. No, you gotta look into his eyes. You have to drink more, and then you have to look into his eyes. I'm turning into bats. Bats.
I think she just bat herself.
It burns. It worked. It worked.
No, we're just hangover you. One-track minded.
I need to get to work.
Where's my cricket? Help me to my coffin.
Hey,
Whoa.
where's that guy that lives with us and actually pays the rent?
Who?
Uh-oh.